right, well, the weather's finally starting to break. We're getting some nice fall weather out here. It's nice and cool. The fields have been harvested, so we got a nice picture, a nice view today. But today we're going to be talking about transitioning targets. First video was, proper pistol fundamentals, trigger control, grip, proper grip, sight alignment, sight picture. Second video was drawn from a holster. Now we're going to do transitioning targets. Each one of these skills is going to build on top of each other. So today we're going to be using the Grant Lavelle targets. They're called Phase 5. You can find them online anywhere. Just search Grant Lavelle Phase 5 and you'll see this target. Today we're going to primarily be focusing on the 4 circles. So as we warm up a little bit and we want to push our times, push our accuracy, we're going to be moving circles. Another target set up to our right. So what we want to do for transitioning targets is we're drawing out, we're presenting to our target, putting 1, 2, 3 rounds on whatever we've determined. And then as we're transitioning, we want our eyes to go first and then our gun to go. All right, that's gonna be number 1 here. So we punch out, we put our rounds on our target, and then we're gonna move our eyes to find our next target. And instead of just turning your shoulders to get to your target, you want to move your hips. You kind of want to sit back in whatever hip, the opposite hip of which you're turning. So if I'm turning right, I'm going to sit into my left hip. If I'm turning left, I want to sit into my right hip. Okay, we're not going to be turning our shoulders to find it. We're going to use our hips and our waist as kind of like a tank turret to move. All right, that'll give us more mobility when we're trying to when we need to go into moving and shooting and stuff like that, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So let's get it set up and we'll come back and get it going. All right, so to start this drill off, we're going to be going super slow. We're going to be focused and we're going to be deliberate in our actions. Okay, we don't want to speed up when we're first learning this skill. We want to get the fundamentals down first and then we'll start speeding it up. So we're going to be going left target to right target, just to build going left to right. And then once we get comfortable with that, we're going to be going right to left. So we'll get into it. I'm going to go nice and slow and show you how to transition from left to right. So let's get into it. All right, so pretty easy. It takes a deliberate actions to build this skill, right? So when we're transitioning, we're drawing out, we're finding our first target, right? Once we get our sight alignment, sight picture, we're sending that first round, okay? After that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna prep that trigger, right? And as we're transitioning targets, we want our eyes to find that target, right? We're here, and then we want to find it, bring our sight to our next target right where we are, and then send that round. We're leaning into that left hip as we're turning to our target on the right. All right, now that you've seen from left to right and what that looks like, we're going to switch the camera around and I'm going to go right to left so you can see what that looks like also. Once we do that, we're gonna do 1 rep going left to right, and then the next rep right to left, and we're just gonna keep doing that back and forth until our mags go dry. So let me switch the camera around and let's get into it. All right, now that we changed the camera up, we're gonna run a couple drills from right to left so you can see that different angle. So same thing, we're drawing out, we're getting that good proper stance, we're drawing out, finding that target. Once we find that target, our eyes go to our next target, and then we rotate our hips, sit into that opposite hip. Once we find our sights again, send in that next round. So here's what it's gonna look like. Here in a minute, I'm gonna get the shot timer out to kind of push myself. Shot timers are really great. If you don't have one, I recommend you get one. I'll show you which one I use in this video. It's pretty simple. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but I think I got it for like 90 or 100 bucks when I picked it up a few years ago. But you don't need anything fancy. You could even use a phone app on your phone if you want to. That's probably the cheapest way to do it. So it's up to you. However much you want to put in, however much money you want to put into it is going to be completely up to you. All right, let's go take a look at the targets. So this is our right target. As you can see, as we're speeding up, our grouping is starting to spread out a little bit. So that's why I wanted to give myself a tough time within reach, but still pushing me. And then that's evident from this one, from this left target here. So not a bad grouping, still starting to spread out, and we had 2 way outside the circle here, as you can see. So that's good, right? It's good. Pushing myself, still getting better, right? So what you can do from this point is you can switch. So we've been shooting in the 1 circle the whole time. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch to circle number 2 on each of them with the same time to kind of hone my groupings and make them a little bit tighter. So let's get into that. All right, for this one, we're gonna be going left to right, right to left, in any order, it doesn't really matter. And we're gonna be aiming for target number 2, the circle number 2. So let's get into it. All right, here's target number 2. you can see we have a couple, 3 outside of our circle, and our grouping is kind of all over the place. Our left target looks very similar. So what that tells me is that this time on my shot timer, the split time and circle number 2 is what I need to be training on the most. Once I get a good grouping like I had on target number 1 with that same time, that's a good time for me. I know that once I can achieve that on circle number 2, then I'm going to be moving to circle number 3, 4, and so on. It's all about repetition and practice, right? Some of us don't have a range that we can go to every day. I'm pretty lucky. I built one on my property, so I can get out here all the time. But you can still dry fire this, right? You can still set up 2 targets in your house, however far apart you want them, 5 feet, 10 feet, 30 feet, whatever, get at a nice distance, and we can still draw out, find our sight, look to our next target, and find our next target, right? We can still practice those movements and still get quicker and better. And then once we get out to the range, then we can see how that practice is building upon itself. So you all take it easy, get out there and train, and I'll catch you in the next one.